Welcome to Nordic Retro Devices. Salora Fellow is an 8-bit computer released in late 1983. Salora, the Finnish TV and stereo maker, had been importing Texas Instruments home computers, but those were discontinued at the same time. Probably this cheaper line of home computers was originated earlier, but the timing was good. Resellers were eager for a new product. Salora Fellow was not made by Salora, nor was it made in Finland. It was a rebranded VTech Laser 200, made by Video Technology from Hong Kong. The computer had a Z80 processor, 4K of RAM, and a rubber keyboard. Salora Fellow was the first home computer in Finland to enter straight into the sub 1000 markka price range. That was half of the price of the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 48K and a third of the price of an Commodore 64. It was not bad at the time for that price, but since it had the Motorola 6847 video processor, the same as the TRS-80 or Dragon 32, it had very little to offer in terms of graphics. And the competition, even at this low price range, was fierce. We had the obsolete Sinclair ZX81 at around 650 markka, but I don't think it was a big seller anymore at that point. But on the other hand, you could also get an Mattel Aquarius at the same price as the ZX81. That could be considered good value, since the capabilities were about the same as for the Salora Fellow. The biggest obstacle for Salora's success was the Commodore VIC-20 that was selling practically at the same price as the Salora Fellow. You could argue that none of these low-cost computers were any good, but the VIC-20 had a decent keyboard, good sound capabilities, and you could also expand it further than the other alternatives. This conclusion was shared by the new Finnish computer magazine Mikrobitti, that later became the largest home computer magazine in the Nordic countries. They basically said that for less money buy the Aquarius, otherwise buy the VIC-20. If you can afford to buy something better, please do. Now let's go to the unboxing. This box is fairly complete, but it has seen some use. It has been in a school of some sort, and well, it's worn. The styrofoam part seems okay. There are some cuts. I don't know if they are original or not. Maybe they are made to make it easier to put things back again. I mean, the cables on the power supply seems to be somewhat difficult to put back. The power supply seems very generic. No fancy branded molds have been used. And then the keyboard or the whole computer. It's very 80s in the appearance, but I like it. It's kind of in a good way what you could get from that era. This is well, there are some booklets. So basically on the left side you have basic programs, in the middle you have a fast guide, and then the basic manual on the right side. So this booklet seems to have complete small programs written in basic. This is the fast guide that shows how to connect the computer, and here you can really see that it has both the video and RF outputs, which is rare, especially at this price point. Here is the well, basic manual, and all the basic commands are explained, and many other things. And of course the keyboard command system that is similar to the Sinclair products, so you get a complete word out from the keyboard by pressing one key. yeah, there is the RF cable, but I will not be using that. Here is the computer in all its glory. We have the rubber keys. They are not the worst, but not very good either. Then we have several color selections up there, like on the Sinclair model. A power LED, so you can actually see when the computer is on, if the screen is black. Then a decent power button. I did not have that on my Spectrum. So let's see the connectors on the back side. First we have 9 volts DC in, a tape connector, video monitor connector, a connector for the extra memory, a connector for joysticks, etc., and the RF output. On the underside of the computer there is a small selector for black and white or color video output. The computer does not do much by itself, so here we have a tape deck to save and load our programs from tape. Here is a original Salora demo tape. The tape deck itself is relatively good for computer use. I mean, it has all the connectors, mic, ear and remote. It uses the same power supply as the computer. Then we have a huge 16 kilobyte memory expansion. They did make bigger ones for the Salora Fellow, but I guess this was the standard at the time. It was not worth upgrading the cheap computer with more memory than anybody else had, because the commercial software was not made for larger memories. Then we have the joystick interface connected to joysticks. And well, these are not the worst ones in the industry, I mean, compared to Commodore or even the Atari standard one. But I would not pick these up if I had a choice between something else and this. So let's connect everything together. Let's take the joystick adapter and put it into well, the auxiliary port. Then we take the memory expansion and put it in the memory expansion port. And well, it starts to look like a fully upgraded computer. And we still need a cable for the cassette player. I do have some original software, like this Maths Fun that requires 16 kilobyte extra memory. And I mean, come on. I can understand that this was used to sell the computer to parents in the 80s. But I'm not gonna even try to load this one. I'm sorry. And then we have statistics. Even worse. But here we have the demonstration tape that contains some very basic, no pun intended, programs. Let's load something fun instead. Let's see. Here we have the startup screen. The picture quality is very crisp because I have the composite video output. You can just press one button and you get the C load from cassette command, and it starts loading something. If you use load, you have to be a little bit more specific on what you want to load. So C load is very practical. And now we start to load a Galaxon, a Galaxian ripoff. This is a very small game and it doesn't take very long to load, but I mean, it's still painfully slow compared to anything today. Or maybe not, I mean, okay, depends. But let's say the reward is bigger today. Finally, and we have the instructions on the screen. And I'm very happy I can use the joystick. The background color is green due to the video chip. Otherwise this looks quite good. The problem is that there is too little space between the defending spaceship and the aliens. So it's well, it's kind of difficult to play this one. Let's load another game. Here we have Space Invaders. Well, it's not an official version, but still. And again, you get the instructions on the screen. No possibility for using a joystick this time. And here we have Space Invaders. I would prefer a black background, but as said, this is a restriction of the video chip. Otherwise, the game plays well and well, it's entertaining. To be clear, this is entertaining, and I'd rather have this computer than be without one. On the other hand, I have to ask the question, why would you buy this one? And probably you got it as a bundle with a television set, or maybe you wanted to support the local shop instead of going into the city and looking for a specific computer. Anyway, I have not seen any activity or community or anything like that around this machine, so I feel that it was quickly forgotten. Let's see what's inside. I removed the screws already. We have a ribbon cable between the keyboard and the motherboard, and we have a NEC Z80 clone in the middle of the motherboard. On the left we have the Motorola 6847 video chip and the TV modulator. The build quality is good compared to Sinclair products. The cover is spray painted. That's all regarding the Salora Fellow, a small computer that arrived in a crowded market. As a bonus, here is Hoppy, a Frogger clone for this machine. The artifacts on the screen are apparently due to the video chip features, so it's not a bug, it's not broken. This is how it is. And yes, this is a good game, very enjoyable.